Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Q&A session of the 5-day Make Your Marketing Formula training. This training was live. It just happened moments ago, and I forgot to hit record. So today we are going to be, I'm just going to give a quick recap of the things that I talked about on that call. I remember everyone who asked questions. I apologize for the lack of live audience that is on me, and I will make sure I have that fixed for future trainings. But in the meantime, let's get started. The first thing that is important to announce is a lot of the messages you may be getting are about me opening up one-on-one spots. I have some spots that are opening up soon. So the first couple of people sent me questions that weren't able to come live, and I wanted to make sure I answered that. So the first person was Hannah. Hannah is a coach, and she works from home and has some nuggets at home, some small kids, and asked if she can be sure that working with me will work for her and her business and creating the flexibility that she needs. So within my program, Six Figure Systems, whether it is in the mastermind or it is one-on-one, I actually do a money back guarantee. And within that money back guarantee, it just says that, like, hey, like, you'll be showing up for 24 weeks. Currently, my program is 6 months long. And whether you're in a person who is doing the mastermind or one-on-one, I have people submit their feedback weekly, and I will keep track of where you're at. So I can actually see, I've never had someone that, even though you're trying new things, if you go through the entire 6 months with me, I will, and you feel like you have regressed or like the program hasn't helped you, I will give you your money back. It's really important to me to make sure that you feel safe investing. And although there are wonderful things like credit cards and loans that were designed specifically for business owners, because personal spending is very different than business spending, I will still give you your money back because I believe so much in what I do, and I believe so much in your business. So I want to make sure that you get the value from this program, or I'll give you your money back. So that is what I do. Kevin asked if it's okay to join if he's not sure about what he's doing in different parts of his business. And so he's just started out with his business. And I wanted to let you know, Kevin, and anybody who's interested, if you are just starting out, yes, of course, you can absolutely join Six Figure Systems, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's the mastermind. This program is designed to guide you through every single piece of your business, whether it's the front facing or the back facing pieces of your business. You can absolutely gain clarity on all those pieces. And let's say you don't have like systems in place to manage the people coming into your business, or you don't know how to plan your time. That's what I do in this program. So I literally will ensure that you get all the things that you need, whether it's presenting, marketing, selling, delivering, managing, or planning, or any of those pieces. I give you exactly what I did. So if you don't have a starting place, you can take exactly what I did and either adopt it, completely use it for your own business, adapt it, or just abandon it and you can try something else. Amanda, I asked how she can sign up. And currently at this point in my business, for one-on-one coaching, I do a consultation. So that means that we'll just meet one-on-one. We'll talk about all those different 6 pieces of your business. And it's actually what happened in day 4. So like, we'll literally take day 4 and we'll do it together. You'll give me an overview of where you are in your business. And then I'll talk to you about how we'll plan for you to go through the program one-on-one with me. Now, if you're in the mastermind, you could also do a consult with me, or within my program, you could just sign up right away, and that's fine as well. And you'll get either the pay in full link or the payment plan link, and then you'll get added to the program online. Dolores asked if she's out of town. She's traveling, and I am a huge travel person as well. I travel very frequently. I'm actually out of town next week, and I'm going to be out of town for the first, third, and fourth week in July. So during those times when I'm out of town, you have plenty. Most people are, whoa, there are lots of resources. So those will be weeks when you can use online modules to support you. And you can also either double up on the weeks following, or we can just push that to the end of your sessions and we'll just extend your 6-month time period. So those are the questions for the people who weren't able to join live. And then Amber kicked us off with our live call. And she was saying, when do you decide to switch up your marketing in some way, shape, or form? She was in my mastermind previously. And when we were working together, she set up all of the things to get her basics of marketing going. She had done a training and a workshop herself. And she said that as much as she loved it, she was feeling a little bit burnt out from the workshop. So, but one of the things that has been working for her, one of the things that she found and put in her formula, she just in the past 2 weeks had signed somebody from what she calls in her Facebook group a coffee chat, where it's similar to like the live coaching in my Facebook group, where you come live, you do maybe even learn a little something, and it opens up for live coaching. And so she just signed someone from that, and then she signed someone from the gym. So my what she was saying is she would like to expedite that process. She's already replaced her, has made her baseline income and is looking to increase her revenue for June. And what I suggested to her is, just like I mentioned in the training, when she was making a lot of really wonderful connections on Instagram, but wasn't necessarily asking people to join the Facebook group, to join these coffee chats. The majority of the people who were joining the chats had just like looked up on Facebook, like binge eating and overeating groups online. And so what I recommended to her is, and for everybody, if you are thinking about your business like a store, and you come to your store, and I want you to imagine that, like, what a lot of us do is you just kind of like are smiling and you're like, I'll keep posting, I'll keep putting up like clothes and things like that. Please like what I do. But when someone follows you, it's like they're entering into your store. So I would recommend highly saying, hey, how are you doing? Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Fun fact, you don't want to send people the exact same message. So switch it up every time, just so that people can feel like they're getting a personalized approach, because they are a person and you do want to personally welcome them into your store and or presence on social media in different ways, because they're different people. The other thing that she was saying is that they would talk a little bit and then she never asked them to join the Facebook group. So I would say that like a great thing to do is like always like finding what people could use from you, giving them like a training or a post that might be helpful for them, and then offering for them to do an opt-in to maybe your Facebook group as well, or like a freebie that you might have. That can be another way that they can get an extra level of support with you. And we always want to give people support ahead of time. We want to give people that like a win beforehand, so to make sure that they feel like they almost know what it's like to work with you before they even work with you. Especially as a service-based entrepreneur, I think it's a great way to build your presence. The next thing was Kate. And then the other thing I offered for Amber, I've got like my notes here. So the other thing I said for her was to start talking with people and doing collaborations with people at her gym. So she had gotten referrals from a personal training client, or for her personal trainer at her gym. And that personal trainer offered, if that personal trainer has a presence on social media or even the gym itself, doing a collaboration on social media, so that they can get access to your audience, you can get access to their audience, and it can be a great way that you guys can both help each other out and give your audience even more value, even more people to support them overall. And in my Facebook group, I'm adding a bunch of tags for things that we talked about in this training. So I'll definitely tag that on there as well. Then Katie asked about creating a cohesive and congruent social media presence, to make sure that as she was talking to awesome people, that they knew about her program. And it was funny because I was like, yeah, people didn't even realize that I was like open for one-on-one coaching. And one of the people on the call, Stephanie, was like, yeah, we didn't know. And I'm like, oh, very, very good to know. So you want to make sure that people actually know that you're open for business. And a great way I like to do that is within what I call a grid of 3. So when you are, this is specifically for Instagram. However, you can pin posts like this for Facebook as well. And I believe LinkedIn, you can pin one thing. And if you're going to pin one thing, I would recommend pinning an overview of your program. Now, Katie's actually one of my one-on-one clients. So when you are working with me one-on-one, you create what's called a signature program with signature pillars to help you stand out in the industry. And if you're not working out with me, you can just put like something general, something that's like, hey, like work with me coaching, anything like that. And within the pillars, I like to have people state how they're different. So I'll have like, for me, the things that I offer, the results that I give people is by the end of the time we work together, you will know how to get your clients results. You will know how to have marketing systems in place. You will have selling systems in place. You will know how to do presentations like what I'm doing right now. You will know how to plan, and you will know how to manage the back end of your business. So when I am telling people about my business, that's the first thing I want them to know. The name of my program, the signature name, is Six Figure Systems. I have that big and bold, and I have that pinned on my Facebook. I have it pinned on my Instagram, and I'm going to add open now, like open for business. And then within there, you can also, she was talking about like how she felt funky just talking about the results. She wanted to talk about her process as well. So her process was, it's something like healing, integrate, create. So that's like the pieces of her process within reclaiming her. And her pillars are to stress, like create less stress, then to create security, confidence, and then freedom, free expression. And so I was like, talk about those 4. And then of course, include a slide for your process as well. So within what I like to do on my Instagram, and this is something that a lot of people said in the chat that they weren't aware of, is they talked about having in Instagram specifically, and I believe on other forms of social media, if you look up, I'm sure that you guys have seen, there are multiple pictures that like you can swipe through as you're on social media. And that's called a carousel post, specifically on Instagram. Not sure about other social medias, but what happens is if you post multiple pictures, the more pictures you have, the more times that post is going to go onto someone's feed. So let's say your post comes onto my feed, and for some reason I don't like it the first day, the next picture in the carousel will come on the second day, and it gives more people an opportunity to interact with your post. And I would recommend doing a lot of those. And one of the things that I have talked about in the past is making sure that thinking about you as a consumer, do you typically read a lot, or are you typically looking more at the images? For me, I like to look at the images. So I've taken a lot of the words that I used to do in my post, and I put them on the pictures for my Canva, which is where I get little social media templates on Canva. And I think that's it. Yes. Oh, and then she asked, so for the grid of 3, I like to have the program overview as one with like all of the results and the process and all that good stuff. And then in the middle, I like to do a video where I'm just like talking about my program. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. You guys can look on my Instagram for a little bit of inspiration if you're looking for it. Also, I do not have like the rights or intellectual property for any of this, so feel free to like use exactly what I did. Just give it a little tweak. That's totally fine with me. I know it can be funky when you're first starting out, like, what do I write? And I'm like, use what I did. We probably don't know the same people, and if we do, it'll be different enough that we both do different things that you'll be fine. The next thing is you want to offer a freebie. So I recommend, if you are just starting out in having a service-based business, using something like a Facebook group is a great place to do that interactive marketing. And what I did is I would do like a 5 to 10 minute training when I first started the group, just like having like a little thing once a week, something that is related to your business, obviously, and it's a way for you to help other people. That is great. And you want to be able to do that for the first little bit of your um the first little bit of your post. Oh my gosh. Like can you tell I've been like, I just did the presentation. I'm doing it again. It's great. We're doing awesome. But you want to have that on your post as well. And then, or just in your Facebook group. That's what I was talking about. Your Facebook group. You want to offer a little bit of value ahead of time. I'm a life coach by trade and I'm a business coach now. And so I love to do free coaching calls in my Facebook group. They're from 11 to 12 Eastern, all the days that I'm in town. And I found that that's a really fun way to just like give people a taste of what I do before they actually like work with me. And that's been really helpful. And another thing that you can do is take trainings and make it like a freebie or an opt-in that you use on your website or an email list. So that's actually what I'm thinking of using this training for, is like potentially like an additional opt-in for my people on an email list. So that's exciting, great stuff. And that I think answered all of Katie's questions. Then Amy was the next person who came on, and she actually sells life insurance. And so she's been within a bunch of different groups and trying to figure out where she, like the groups that she's been a part of, they tell her to go through currently any friends and family that she knows and work with them. And so she's been doing that for the past 2 to 3 years, and it's been awesome. But she has also like talked with all these people. They already know what she's done. And that's called your warm audience. And so she's worked with her warm audience. She has figured out all the people that she can help in that audience. And now she's like, where do I find the new people? And one of the things that she realized people could really use life insurance are beginning entrepreneurs. So she was saying that like that could be a place. And there's something called an ideal client avatar. If you've heard that phrase before, it just means that someone you would love to work with who could use your service. So that could be an entrepreneur. That could be like a high school student. That could be a working woman. It could be a CEO, like depending on what your business does, depending on who you help, that can be a great outlet for it. And one of the things that she was saying is these entrepreneurs would be great. And so one of the things that I was suggesting to her are looking at places like certifications. Like that's where a lot of times like I'll partner with people who graduated from Life Coach World, because that's where I got certified. And I know there might be some coaches there, even though I don't primarily work with coaches. I work with like VAs. I've worked with tattoo artists. Like I've worked with a ton of different services. However, within the scope of things, I can also work with coaches. It's something I did personally. And so sometimes I'll partner with my certification. Other places like my former alma mater, Go Pack, NC State, we have an entrepreneurial group. And so I was like, that could be a great place that she could look at with other universities in the area. Another thing that would be great, and I was talking with her about like her and Amber as well, is I think an underutilized source is like in-person facilities. I think especially after COVID, I think a lot of people have been going and seeking out more like human interactions. So there are places that she could position herself like at a WeWork or another co-working space. WeWork is like a brand of co-working spaces, but that's a place where a lot of people who are entrepreneurs might go. And so what I was suggesting to her is like putting her information. There's something called a link tree, and hopefully by the time of this presentation, Linktree still exists, but a link tree is a place where you can go and you can put a ton of different links and you can change them out as much as you want. And the Linktree QR or website never changes. So like I have had like this training will be on there. I'll have like free workshop, collaborating with this person. Like I'll just change the links out a whole bunch, but I have one QR code that I generated. Like you can just Google QR code generator, and I put my Linktree link to that one QR code. And I was like, might as well like make a flyer. You could be like, put this up in some WeWork areas. Like that would be a great place for you to do that. I was thinking Amber could do that as well. She works with overeating and binge eating, and that could be a really awesome place for her as well. Um, the last thing was, and I think that's pretty much all I talked to Katie or Amy about. So, and then the last person who went was Jess. And Jess has literally, she just finished her certification and she's just starting her business. And I'm really glad that she came tonight, because when you are first starting out a business and talking to all these people who have been in businesses for like a little bit, it can feel really intimidating. And that's why I also created this Make Your Marketing Formula training, because even if you are at the beginning of your business, the very first like stages, this is still for you, because I want you to utilize exactly what I did. Go ahead and network online, network in person, go and post on social media, and making sure that you are doing presentations as well. Now, Jess is actually in my current mastermind, my current group. And so I know a little bit about her and her business, and she wants to empower young women to live a more confident, amazing life. So one of the things that we talked about with her on this call were places that, if you were to think about the word positioning is, you want to position, which means like put yourself in a place where a lot of people who could probably benefit from your services could be, and doing presentations for them. And I talked with Amy about this as well, about doing presentations in person or virtually that can help you to bring in more people who could work with you. And so for her, we were talking about if she wants to work with young women, like young women in the workplace can be an amazing place to start. However, I was thinking like when I was in school, my parents were able to support me financially through a lot of like mental health support endeavors that I was like a part of. I was very honest, like I've got ADHD. And so I got an ADHD counselor that was able to help me. I also had experienced some like mental health trauma like in my childhood. And I was like, I would love to work through this. And so I had a therapist and things like that. And it was really helpful when I was in university, and I had help throughout all 4 years. And they were actually able to help me financially, because I was in school and wasn't working at the time. So I was saying that that could be a great place to utilize as well. And when I first started my coaching business, I was like, I will go anywhere. I was like, I figured out one webinar that I could do, and I offered that everywhere. It was a 10-year plan webinar, and I did that for organizations. I did it for women's groups. I did it for college classes. I did it for like their first year college. Like I literally did it for everybody. I was like, I think it's called exploratory studies now, but I was like, let me do this one presentation everywhere I possibly can. And what we're doing, since she's in my program, I actually teach my clients how to launch their product with a webinar. So I was like, we'll talk about that. Like, definitely like ask for coaching on that. And like, I'll help her create a webinar that she can do in all those awesome places. She also talked about like how her university, College of Charleston, they have, they have a great orientation week, and she's like, I can get involved with that. And I'm like, great. She has connections. She's so amazing. Like and as a former teacher, like I can so appreciate this. Like she actually went and donated school supplies to a former high school teacher. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like reach out to that high school teacher. Maybe she's got some connections, like local high schools, like anybody in the area could absolutely use that. And like, especially as like a parent of a child in this rapidly changing dynamic, like there is so much mental support that's needed, mental health support that's needed. And as a life coach, I know that she could definitely help them. So that was what we talked about this evening. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. And if that is the case, if you came to the training live, please like message me and be like, you forgot this. And I'll like post about it in the Facebook group. But if not, I'm just so grateful for all of you. The way I ended the call is the same way I'll end this, is like, I'm just so proud of you for whatever you're doing right now. It is a non-traditional career. Whatever business you have, this is something that is new and so needed in the world. And I'm just so grateful for you taking a chance, for you sharing your gifts with all of us. And if you need any support whatsoever, know that I have your back, whether that is just a question about things or whether you want to work with me. I would love to support you. You're doing amazing. I love you guys all so much. And let me know if you have any questions, and I will be seeing you soon.